All right, we're live. Welcome to the live stream. Tonight, we are going to chat about how to design the ultimate kitchen, what that even means, what that looks like. I'm sure it looks different for all of us because we all have different unique spaces. We all have different needs for our kitchen. So, how do we go about designing a kitchen that fits our family's needs, our needs, the way we shop, the way we cook, the way we do things in the kitchen, plus our style preferences and the types of appliances that we want to use? How do we go about designing the perfect kitchen? You can't just go on the internet and type in, you know, the perfect kitchen, and well, you can, and you'll come up with a whole bunch of pictures. There'll be all kinds of images showing you a bunch of kitchen pictures, but that doesn't mean they're right for you. So tonight we want to talk about not that. That's the wrong slide. Bear with me. We do want to talk about this though, which is, what is the ultimate kitchen? What does that mean? What does that look like? So, is an ultimate kitchen the range hood placement, the ventilation capacity, the type of range hood that you buy? What does that mean? Is this what the ultimate kitchen is? Or maybe it's your refrigerator preferences. Maybe you have a nice Samsung refrigerator with a screen built in like I do, or maybe you have a super double wide 60-inch dual fridge freezer combination. Maybe it's the location of the refrigerator. There's all kinds of places in a design where you can put a refrigerator. Maybe that is the ultimate kitchen. Maybe it is the overhang on your island, or island seating in general, or in a peninsula, or just the island overall in a kitchen. Maybe that is the idea for you of this is what an ultimate kitchen is. Maybe it's the drawer space or the extra storage. Maybe you listened to my advice in a video and said, yes, I definitely need more drawers in my kitchen. And so that is the ultimate kitchen. Maybe it's the lights that you pick, the pendants, the pot lights, the under counter lights. Maybe it's the color temperature. Maybe you found a particular pendant that you absolutely love, and that's what makes the ultimate kitchen. Maybe it's just the storage and wall cabinets, or you have glass doors, or an open shelf, forbid I say. Maybe that is what the ultimate kitchen is. Or maybe you have this attached dining room, eat-in kitchen type of style where the days of just the open concept with the island that you eat at kind of fading away, and we want to have a more inclusive space. So you have this dining room table that's incorporated into your kitchen, or maybe it's add-on to your island in the form of table seating. Maybe that is the ultimate kitchen. Or it could be the countertop that you choose. There's so many choices out there for all different types of styles and price points and what you want to do on those countertops. Maybe that is the perfect kitchen. Or maybe it's the flooring. Are you going with tile or some kind of linoleum? Is that even still a thing? Are you going with hardwood floor like I personally love, or some other type of tiled floor, ceramic or porcelain? Maybe it's your floor that makes the ultimate kitchen. Or maybe it's just all of these things and many other things that I'm not mentioning. To you, in your mind, there may be something that this is what I think about when I think of the ultimate kitchen. This is what I would want. There are so many options available, so many places where we can go and dig in and see that we can add to, and so much more stuff to learn. And the ultimate kitchen becomes very complicated and overwhelming, maybe. And you're trying to get the bottom of this. You're trying to piece this puzzle together, realizing that I don't even know if I have all the pieces. I don't even know maybe the right questions to ask. I'm not even sure what I like or want anymore. It can be very challenging. So tonight we want to answer the question of what is the ultimate kitchen, walk you through this. And hello, we're back on a live stream, so thanks so much if you're joining us live. It's been a while since June, and tonight is sort of a one-off. This won't be happening every single week yet, but in the future I'll be back doing live streams more regularly. But if you're joining us live tonight, thank you so much for being here. This is how the night's going to go. We're going to walk through some of these this content about what makes the ultimate kitchen, and then I'm going to bring my friend on, Anne-Marie, and she's going to talk about a group coaching experience that we're putting together, very excited about, that we want to share with you. And then we're going to open it up for some questions and answers about anything at all kitchen related. Maybe you have a specific question about your kitchen that you want to ask, and that will be the time to ask it. So if you're in the chat, cool, chat with each other. I love when you do that. But if you're asking me a personal question about something that you want an answer to, or Anne-Marie when she comes on, say that till the end so that we can make sure we see the question and answer it for you, so that you can at least get some extra value out of this live stream workshop. Really excited that you're here, that we're back, and we're going to continue on. So the ultimate kitchen is super complicated, and it doesn't need to be, but it can be. So I want to ask you this question. This is a little bit maybe of a strange question, but if I asked you to buy me shoes, how challenging would that be? Now, if you think about it, it doesn't sound like it would be that complicated, but there's some specific things that you'd need to know before you just went out and dropped $100 or $200 or whatever on a pair of shoes for me personally. One, you'd ask me, what size shoes, Mark, do you have? What size shoes do you wear? There's no point in me going and buying a size 9 when you're at a size 11 or whatever. What color do you like? This is a very important question because maybe I just don't want burgundy shoes. I would rather have green ones or white or black or blue. That's a really important question to ask. You may be asking, what style of shoe do you want? I mean, have you been to a shoe store? There's a plethora of shoe styles out there, from, athletic shoes to dress shoes to just casual shoes and all kinds of other ones. There's hundreds of styles of shoes. And what's the purpose of the shoe, Mark? Like, are you using this for work, or is this something you just want to walk around in? Are you going to the gym with these shoes? Like, what is the purpose? Why do you need these shoes? And what features do you want? I used to love the old Velcro sneakers back in the day because, well, it just saved me a ton of time and I hate tying my laces. So there's a lots of features with shoes. Do you want grippy soles, or do you want something that's smooth? There's all kinds of things you can choose from. You'd need to know that. Of course, you'd want to know what the price is. What do you want to spend on a pair of shoes? Or what is too much for a pair of shoes? I mean, if you bought me a $500 pair of shoes, I'd be like, oh, you shouldn't have dropped $500 on a pair of shoes for me. I probably won't even like them. So it's a tough question. So imagine, just for buying me shoes, a simple purchase that if you get it wrong, the very worst thing that can happen is I can say, well, I don't like them, and you can return them, get your money back, or I can just accept them and not want to hurt your feelings because you took the time to go and buy me shoes, which is very nice, by the way. And if anyone wants to, I'll tell you my shoe size here in a few minutes. And I can just give them away to somebody else, or I can just put them away somewhere on a shelf and say, oh, someone sent me shoes. That's so, so nice. But there's a lot of things you need to consider when you're just buying shoes. So can you imagine if buying me shoes was so complicated? If I asked you to do this, design my kitchen. Now you're talking about a whole different scenario, because buying a kitchen is not just a throwaway purchase. Not that shoes are, but much more throwaway of a purchase than a kitchen. I could toss the shoes away. And in fact, after you use shoes for a little while, you do toss them away, or you give them away, or they become less valuable to them. You've got your use out of them. But a kitchen is not so much. You can't just return a kitchen. You can't just say, well, I'll give this kitchen away. You're going to spend a lot of money with a lot of features, with a lot of purpose, with a lot of style, with a lot of size, and you need to know all these questions. So your mind can get blown if I ask you that without any kind of detail. I mean, even just buying me shoes can be like, well, I don't even know where to start. Like, what do I do? I got to get this right. It's just shoes. So imagine, design my kitchen. Well, what size is your kitchen? Is it a small, medium, or large kitchen? I mean, that's just the overall bird's eye view. What is the actual dimensions of the kitchen? Where are the windows, and where is the doors, and where is the obstacles, and where are things going? What size kitchen do you have? What's the color? Do you want a blue and white two-tone kitchen? Do you like charcoal gray with maple or walnut or oak? Do you want an all-white kitchen, which is so glamorous these days, I hear? What kind of color of kitchen do you want? Oops, let's go back. What style is your kitchen? Most people, when they try to answer that question, they're not even sure. They sort of like contemporary, or they might like more of a modern look, but they kind of like the farmhouse thing too. I don't even know what my style is. I like a farm sink, but I like these kind of doors that don't go with a farmhouse. What do we do? What's the purpose of your kitchen? Well, duh. I mean, most people can answer this question. I need to cook my food for my family, but maybe you're into baking or canning, or maybe you like to have a coffee station, or maybe you like to entertain. You need something that's big enough to handle these needs. And what features do you want? There's tons of features. We can spend all night talking about features. And of course, what price range are you in? What do you want to spend on a kitchen? All of these prices are very, very important to answer, and something that you need to get right. Now, when you're buying a shoe for yourself, it's quite easy because you already know the answers to these questions. So if you're buying a shoe for me, it's different. But if you're buying it for you, okay, well, this is all the answers to those questions. I can go, I can buy the shoe, I'm going to be happy with the purchase. But many homeowners don't know the answer to those questions when they're going to buy a kitchen or when they're looking at kitchens. They're unaware. Then all these stuff comes flooding in on them, and they're trying to answer and they're trying to come up with the best solution for them to design this ultimate kitchen. And it's hard to pinpoint some of these things. So we want to make it easier to do that. So what's the difference between shoes and kitchens? Well, for shoes, you might want a high top. I take a 10.5. I like black, maybe a training shoe. I need some arch support. $200, $300 is a pretty good price range for shoes for this type of thing. Bam, you got your shoes. These are a great training shoe if you want to look them up. They're called No Bull, and you can send them my way anytime you want. There's all my information right there for shoes. But a kitchen is like, well, what style, what color, what purpose, what features, what price? Now what do? You have all of these things that you have to try to figure out. It can be very, very complicated. All right, so let's talk about measurements and what size. So this is the first thing you got to nail down. If you're going to design your kitchen, if you're going to go and intelligently talk to a designer, a contractor, cabinet maker, just the local carpenter who has a backyard shop, you're going to need some of these things. You're going to need measurements for your kitchen. And tonight I'm going to show you some tools that I found online that I want to share with you that you can use to try to help you navigate some of this and figure out, how to get these things on paper so you can share them with people who are going to need to know these things. So you need to measure your kitchen. Now I have a design measurement guide that's in I don't even think it's in the description of this video, but I'll put it there later. It's a free guide. You can just open that. It'll show you what to measure, how to measure. And the key is you need to measure as accurate as possible. That's really, really important. From the get-go, the more accurate you can be with your measurements, the better, so that down the road, someone doesn't have to find out that none of this fits because the measurements were wrong. And a lot of the times the measurements do start with you, the homeowner, because you're trying to get the ball rolling and you're not waiting for someone to come to your place to measure for you, that you're measuring yourself and bringing your measurements to these different places, maybe to get a quote, maybe to get some idea of what your kitchen design was going to look like. So accurate as possible. You want to use the same unit of measure while you're doing your measurements. So in Canada and the US, we use inches in terms of most of our measurements, even though Canadians, we do use the metric system. But when it comes to measurements, you want to keep the same unit of measure, meaning if you're writing down a measurement that's 6'4", you don't want to write 6'4", you actually would want to write 78 inches. Because that way there's zero confusion, everything is uniform across the whole thing, and there'd be less confusion in terms of somebody looking at that and is that a 7'4", or is it 74 inches? What is that? So that it's a big deal. It can get easily confused. Or if you're using a metric system and you're doing millimeters and centimeters and meters, just use one unit of measure. You stick with millimeters is usually the best thing when you're doing a kitchen in that unit of measure. Keep it all consistent. I see Matthew put in something here is measure, measure, measure. Again, repeat if necessary. Very good sound advice because it is important that measurements are it's the building block. It's the cornerstone of kitchen design, if we can say that. It is just the foundation that things are built on. Now, we want to be as close to scale as possible. I'm going to show you a tool on how to do this. Very hard to do that on a cigarette package. I've seen people, they come in with this stuff or a shim shingle or just a piece of gyprock or an old piece of paper. I get it. You got to get the measurements down. But if you can get it on something that you can scale, it makes it a whole lot easier to look at and figure out what goes where and how things are going to fit. It'll help you out if you can do that. And measure everything. People ask me, what do I measure when I measure my kitchen? Well, you measure everything. Literally, just go around the space and just measure every single thing that every single flat surface, just measure everything. And, that at least will get you. You don't have to be professional to do this. It doesn't have to be to the 16th of an inch, as long as it's as accurate as you can get it, so you're not inches off. And you measure everything, you'll be in good form to have something that you can take somewhere or use yourself to take this another step further to get you the kitchen that you really want. Now I want to show you this tool. I'm going to switch over here and hopefully we can look at this together. This is called virtual graph paper. So I found this online. I want to share it with you. And let me just bring it up here real quick. Of course, it's just not where I want it. So there it is. Okay, check this out. This is virtual graph paper. And there you go. So this is, oh, what happened to it? Bear with me while I find it again. Where's my virtual graph paper? There it is. Okay. Let's go back. This is live, so this is what happens when you're live. You just have little hiccups. No big deal. Here we go. Virtual graph paper, there's, you can see the web address there, virtual-graph-paper.com. And it's a free tool to use. It's pretty simple, actually, to use. I've been playing around with it today. You can go and you can start drawing out your kitchen design. So let's say we just have, let's just draw a kitchen right now. I want to show you how this works so it can kind of get you up and running. You have all these tools on the side. Again, it's not hard to use if you just play around with it for a little bit. But this will allow you, these are in 12-inch grid system, so it's like graph paper. So each little tiny grid, if we zoom in here, each little tiny grid is 3 inches. And that will help you because most cabinets come in 3-inch increments, and 4 3s are 12, and 12 is a foot. And so you can easily start to, snap out a line and make your kitchen. So we will do that now. We'll just put a line in here. Our kitchen is, let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's go 12, and then we want to come down. I don't know. We'll just make it up like that. And let's just go, we'll go super simple. Our kitchen is just a rectangular box like many homes are. So we have our kitchen. We know what our measurements are. And what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we can go down here to our text, and we can just put in, this is 144 inches. Simple like that. And if we want to, we can put in an arrow, and this arrow will just give us, make it look a little professional. So already we have something that looks more professional than the drawing that's on the back of a cigarette carton. All right, perfect. A good start. We want to put in a window. So what I like to do is make a rectangle. And this is just to get you started. You can change the color so you can differentiate between what your things are on your floor plan. And I'm going to put in a window here that's 3 feet, right? So 3 grids, 3 feet, and this is just going to represent my window. Now, if I want to, I can go back to my text and I can write in here that this is 36 inches, and then this is 1, 2, 3, 4 feet, so 48 inches, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that's 60 inches, and 60 inches, and again, we can go back, put our lines in if we want to. I'll do that just to show you just how nice and neat this can look when you're doing this. And this also allows you to print it off, and you can take this, the printed drawing, or you can actually take the file, which is viewable by other people. So, and they can look at that and get a really good glimpse. So now this cool little tool here is called freehand. So I'm going to use this to draw in my kitchen. Now we could just use rectangles and make it really, really pretty, but I want to be quick. I want to get this in here because I have an idea what my kitchen is supposed to look like. And so first thing I'm going to do is draw. Let's change the color really fast to, we'll go burgundy for this. Hey, from Spain. Cool. Thanks for joining us. That is so cool that you're here. Now this is the freehand tool. So I'm going to draw a sink base. So remember, this is 12-inch grid. So there's our sink base, all right? 3-foot sink base, 24 inches deep. I mean, are you not blown away? And then you can go ahead here and just put in, if you want, you can go SB for sink base, or maybe 36-inch sink base. Some nomenclature there. Emery will love to talk with you later about that. And then we want to draw in our, we'll go back to freehand. We want to draw a dishwasher here. So we'll just draw a dishwasher, and we can label that later. And then maybe here we want to have a drawer bank, and we can label that. And over here we have another cabinet, and then maybe we have a pantry. All right, so we can go in, and I hope you're getting the fact that this is super easy to do. And I like this tool because, one, you can print it off, and this is going to be a 4 dB. And you can take this somewhere, and they can actually look at it and go, oh, okay, this makes sense. And they can easily draw this out in 3D for you. Though we do have a tool I want to show you in a bit for that as well. And this is your dishwasher. And then we're going to have a 36-inch 3 dB. Okay, so there's your one-wall kitchen. Maybe on another wall we'll have our stove and our fridge and all the other pieces. So you have this. Now all of a sudden you just have this super easy tool that you can use. You can go down and print it. You can share it. You can save it. And but you can also, what I like to do is just zoom out here. We'll zoom in over here because also having an elevation view of your kitchen can be really helpful. And so you can just make an elevation view. So I'll just change this. And basically it looks like the same thing. We're going to draw a rectangle. But now it's a little crooked of a rectangle, but that's okay. Parallelogram, they work. No ceilings are straight anyway, so this is actually probably more accurate. And we can put in our window. So this is like looking at it in 2D front on view, and we can go and add our window. And this is our 3-foot window. We're going to add that like that. Maybe, oop, I added 2 windows by accident. If you make a mistake, you can just go undo, and it just undid everything. There we go. Cool. We go back to our freehand now because we're going to draw our sink base. We can change the color later. And we want to draw our dishwasher, and then we want to draw our thing there. This might be backwards. That's fine, but you get the idea. And this is going to actually be a tall cabinet, so we can just draw it up like that. So this just is, you know, this is very crude, and I'm not taking my time to draw this nicely. But you can see the idea. There's my door. I have a door on the bottom. Oop. I have a handle on here, and my doors for my sink. And you get the idea that you can start to draw something. Here's another wall cabinet, and then another wall cabinet here. All right, very crude, but you can add the details later on. But if you spend some time, I'm just rushing because I want to show you move on. But this gives you a really clear idea and something you can use, print off, and play around with to work on floor plans. If you don't have graph paper available, or especially if you have an iPad with the pen, this is a really cool tool because you can just do it right on your iPad like that. You can also do it with, if you have an iMac with the pen and the pad, you can do that as well. I'm just using my mouse, and it's super easy. But I thought this was really cool. I want to share it with you. Because once you get those measurements, getting them down on something that you can transfer to a piece of paper or a sheet like this and give to your designer, your contractor, you'll be miles ahead of most people who just are unaware of what to do. It's not to scale. It can be confusing. Even when you take the right measurements, but the drawing's not to scale, you can get fooled into thinking that your kitchen can look like something that it can't be because your drawing's not to scale, because you're not looking at it properly. So this is a really great tool that I want to share with you. So that is called the virtual graph paper, which is available for free online, virtual-graph-paper.com. I'll put a link later on in the description so you can just click on it if you're watching this, and that'll be something that you can use to your advantage. All right, so that's the virtual graph paper. Let's go to the next questions are what purpose, what color, what style. So you may have what type of base and wall doors. Do you want shaker style or a raised panel or a beaded or a thin shaker or just a slab door? You have to answer these questions. What's the paint color for the walls or the paint color for anything else in the kitchen? These are all things that you need to answer in order to get the kitchen that you absolutely want. And what about your countertops or your tiles for your backsplash? We talked about there's so many options already. And if you watch my channel and all kinds of other channels on YouTube, you'll know, and you already know because you're human and you've been in the world and you've been shopping, you see there's so many options for countertops that you can just get lost. You don't know, what do you pick? And what about flooring and lighting and accents and all the other things that go into a kitchen? So these are really important questions that are important to get right. So this is where the vision board comes in, or a mood board. I don't like the term mood board because I don't know, it just sounds dull. But a vision board sounds like, this is like, yes, we can go with this. So I want to show you a vision board tool that I think is pretty helpful, and I'm not a vision board aficionado. Okay, so I don't claim to have the I just got to stop sharing. There we go. I don't have the corner marketed on vision boarding. Emery, you can maybe help me with that later on. I'm sure you know much more about that than I do. But I want to bring up Millinote and share this. So this is just a tool that you can use for doing a vision board and much, much more. I'm going to share that. I hope you're getting value out of this as you're watching, because, well, I just hope you're getting value. You're not watching for nothing. This is called Millinode. So this is a free app. There's in-app purchases, of course, with everything. This is a download. You can also use the website version, the web version, and this just allows you to create boards. And I've created one here called My New Kitchen, and it's blank right now. And basically, what you can do is it's just for getting ideas, because you may have a particular thing that you're looking to add to your kitchen that you have a picture of that you want to add. So we'll just add some images and we'll just get started like this, just very simple. Now they have already some images in here, which we'll just use one, but you can add your own. And maybe there's a particular kitchen. Let's go kitchen. Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. Maybe you've seen this and this is something that you like the idea of. So you're going to add this to your vision board. All right, you can go in, you can add on the little dots here, you can add color swatches. So, hey, maybe you want your walls to be that color, or you click on it and click color, and you can just select, maybe you want some kind of shaded green, which is really cool for your cabinets. Maybe that's the one. Gives you the kind of the name of the color, and it gives you the number identifier for that color, so that you can easily just pick the colors that you want. Maybe you've been out of store and you found a bunch of colors that you think you may want to go with, and there's little arrows that you can add here that you want to add to your kitchen. So you can point, hey, I want these cabinets to be that color, and nope, I didn't do it right, but you get the idea. You can also go in and add notes. So this is going to be or a to-do list, which I thought was really good. So you want to visit showroom, and you may want to chat with Mark about something, and then you also may want to pick countertops today. This is your today to-do list, and forget my spelling mistakes. And then as you do those things, you can check them off, keep yourself on track, and it's very, very simple to do. So this is a really cool tool, and of course I'm just rushing through this, but again, this is a free download, something you can do. You can just add notes, of course. This is my dream kitchen, and all your notes or whatever you want to add, and then you can go in, and there's all kinds of stuff you can do with that as well to make it look pretty. Of course, vision boards are supposed to look pretty, and I have no, I'm not going to make this look pretty, and but you can also sketch. So if you want something that you wanted to draw, you can do that, and that's a cool little tool. Double click to start sketching. So here we go. I'm going to sketch my kitchen again. So this is kind of the idea. I have a window and I have a sink base here with some taps and my dishwasher. Oops, it's a little bigger of a dishwasher. And I got a drawer bank here, and I got another cabinet. And it's a super, super easy way to just get a quick draft down. You can hit save, and bam, you got your little thing there. This is my kitchen. So you want to drag that around. You can add images of your own. You can search for images that they already have pre-populated, which is really great. So this is a really cool tool. There's also video and text and maps and all kinds of other stuff that I won't get into, but you can use this. Like I said, it's free to use, and it's just a great way to get these questions answered. So you may go online and find that there's a particular accessory that you want to use for your kitchen, and you can just snap a picture of it or cut it out, cut a picture of that out, and just drag it right into here. It's really easy to do. So you can have all the things that you want to include into your kitchen, all your notes, all the things you're thinking about. You've seen that hideaway step stool and you want to add that to your kitchen, you can just drag it into here and add it super easy. So I definitely recommend looking at this. There's all kinds of other tools for this, and obviously this is not a workshop on how to vision board properly, because obviously this is horrible. But you can start a new board if you want, and it'll give you an interior design mood board template. So bang, there you go. You can start right there if you want and kind of work off of something that's already pre-populated, and it's a really nice thing to do. So I think this is a great tool, and it'll help you in answering some of these questions about what is the colors that I like, what are maybe some of the textures, what are some of the things I want to add to this kitchen. And it can really be something that's very, very useful. And especially if you're a visual person and you like to see these things, and it's hard for you to kind of see it, just in your mind's eye, but you need to have it kind of laid out. This is a great starting point, and lots of designers use these types of tools in order to get you the total vision of what your kitchen is going to look like, instead of discovering later on down the road that you missed something, or you didn't put something in that you wish you should have. So this is a great tool. Highly recommend it. The purpose, the color, the style. Now next are the features. So you have storage options, and you could talk for days about that. We have cabinet types. There's frameless and framed cabinets, and then there's different construction of those particular cabinets as well. Plus all the types of cabinets between drawer banks and full height door and base cabinets with drawer and just shelf underneath, and corner cabinets and wall cabinets, and just all the different types of cabinets that you can choose from. Plus layout and design, which is a major portion of this whole thing, is figuring out exactly what to do with your your layout, and how do you get this to be perfect layout for the way you use the space. And you have appliance placement, which plays into that, which is very, very important. And of course, there's tools that I want to show you about that. So homebymee.com, again, it's a free tool to use. You just log in with your Google account. It's also the same tool that IKEA uses for their planner. So if you've used the IKEA planner, you've seen a similar looking tool. And of course, IKEA's is modified for IKEA, but Home by Me is something that you can use to make a nicer looking sketch of what your kitchen can look like. So I'm going to bring that up and show you that, homebymee.com. And you can go there yourself and check out these tools anytime. So let's share this screen. Make sure you hit the thumbs up if you are getting value from this workshop. I do appreciate it. Now this is Home by Me, so you just log in. I got my little account set up here, and you get 5 free projects to start with, and then of course they want to, they have the upgrade of to spend money. Of course they want you to buy stuff, and that's fine. But at least you get 5 projects, and you can actually delete them, and you still get your 5. You're probably just doing 2 or 3 plans for your kitchen, and so, which I do recommend you do, and this will help you to do that. So I've already just populated one here, and we're just going to look at it real quick. Let's just create a new project, and I want to show you this. So you can set this to be inches, or you can set it to be millimeters, and I want to create, actually I'm just going to create an empty room. No, I don't want to start with a template. I want to create an empty room. All right, so we got this empty room. Now you can go and you can change all these dimensions. It's a 10x10 kitchen. Let's just say we're doing a 1-wall kitchen with just a sink and a refrigerator, and the stove is going to be somewhere else. All right, so again, if you've been on IKEA's site, this looks very similar, but you can go into furnish, and you can go kitchen, and we can go kitchen cabinets, and we can go base cabinets, and I found this generic, which means generic. So we can just add some of these cabinets. Now the cool things about these, hey, you want to have a sink like that. It's cool. You snap it in your plan, but you also want to see it in 3D. Let me just throw in 3D here. All right. Even puts a little person in there. That's you in your new kitchen. You can move yourself around and have a look. Well, that's really cool. And then you can go into these, of course, and you can edit them. So if you want to have something that's exactly 3 feet instead of 3'3 3/8, you can just hit 36 inches and it'll change it for you to 3 feet. And then you can add another piece of furniture, or actually you can go in to kitchen and go to appliances and dishwasher and just add a generic dishwasher. So you can see how quickly you can start to draw a kitchen and easily get something on a floor plan that you can look at, and it allow you to download the pictures of this. I really recommend people using this. I like IKEA's planner because it's so simple, but you have to deal with their sizes. With this, you can customize all the sizes. So I really like that feature. And then we can go back into furnish. And of course, I'm just going quickly through this. I would love for you to check this out and let me know how you get along with it, because I think it's a cool tool to use. We're going to go back to generic, and maybe we're going to put a drawer bank in. We'll put a massive 5-drawer bank in here next to our sink. And then, oh, we forgot our refrigerator. So let's just put a fridge in in our kitchen, and we'll go to appliances. And you see, you can just kind of maneuver around. We want this American refrigerator. Home by Me is I believe, a European company. So they have these American refrigerators. All right, so you can put that on. We'll put that over here. So now you just have this really cool tool that you can easily, manipulate. You can make the room any shape you want. You can change the color of the cabinets. You can change the color of the hardware and the countertops. You can add windows, of course, and doors and the whole bit. And you can play around with it. There's a measurement tool, and you can do circles, and you can even add images of things if you wanted to, rectangles. Um, and you can take screenshots, 360 top views, realistic images, and there's other paid content that you can also buy. But this is a really, really great tool. So this will help you in figuring out, okay, I want to have a drawer bank here. I don't need that many drawers. What am I going to store there? I do need stuff for cutlery, and I need stuff for utensils and stuff that I'm using around my stove, dish cloths and oven mitts, and just all those other little things that I need in my kitchen. Okay, that drawer bank actually might be really great. I love my farm sink, dishwasher. Maybe over here I'll put a 3-drawer bank because I need something that is a little deeper for Tupperware, some bowls, or whatever you want to store in your kitchen. And going through the process and seeing it like this really helps you visualize your kitchen. Then for your mood board on Milanote, you can just take your picture of this and drag it right into your mood board. And you have this really complete picture of, here's the colors I want to use. Here's kind of my 3D idea. Here's the drawing that I started with. Here's my measurements that I took with my virtual graph paper. And it's all there in this one place that you can, have everything together and organized to help you on your way. These are really great tools. I don't use this particular tool just because I have a design program that I use, but I have used the IKEA planner a lot in the past, and I use it on client calls when we're talking with, when I'm talking one-on-one with clients. And because if they're using IKEA, we can just go right into their IKEA planner together live and just manipulate everything so that they can see all the changes, and it saves it for them, sends it to them, or just to get a quick idea of what a kitchen could look like. This is an invaluable tool, and it's free to use. I highly recommend you go do that so that you can get the ball rolling in the right direction. Instead of being at the mercy of a designer who may just design something that they like, and they just, say, here, you're going to like this because I think it's good. But it might not be the exact kitchen for you or how you use the space. Maybe there's not enough communication between you and them, and they don't understand exactly what you want. I had a client recently, and they were just saying, hey, I told the contractor I wanted this, but they never did it. So I get that. That happens a lot. I don't know why they didn't listen to you. But if you have a tool like this that you can use, say, here's what I want, and that'll help the process go a lot smoother for you. So this is really cool. I love this. I love this program, and highly recommend that you check it out as well. All right, so let's go back to the slideshow. So that's the figuring out your features, figuring out your layout. Okay, now what about the price? Well, this is a massive question that can't be answered with any one particular tool, because your kitchen is going to be something that's very unique. It's going to be uniquely priced because it's going to have the features that you want, the color and the door style that you want, and it's going to be laid out to a particular size, which is going to be more or less depending on that size because you're paying per square foot. And the countertops and the tiles and the flooring, so all those things combined is really challenging to come up with a price. But there are some tools out there, again, that are free to use that you can check out. I'm going to show you one here I think is worth us looking at, because this store is everywhere, and I'm logged into the one in Orlando somewhere, and it'll at least give you a ballpark idea of what a kitchen costs. And I think it's at least worth looking at to do that. So let me share this one with you, and this is really, really good too. And most of you have probably shopped here. So it's Home Depot. Yay. So a big box store, but they sell tons of kitchens, and don't knock them because they do have a good quality product in their upper, level of cabinetry. It's pretty good. So this can be and they do fully customized kitchens as well, and maybe depending on where you live. But from my experience, where I live, they do it. So I'm in the middle of nowhere, so I'm sure they do it anywhere else. So you can just go in, you can select you want to price cabinets, you want to price countertops. Maybe you already got your appliance package from Yale Appliance, which I have an upcoming collaboration video happening. And it starts to just map out some of these pricing structures just to start giving you an idea. You want all new cabinets, of course, so you're not going to reface your cabinets. You want a whole new renovation. Then it gives you this idea of, do you want a U shape, an L shape, single wall galley? Maybe we have an L shape because that's a really popular style of kitchen. And will there be an island? Yes, there's definitely going to be an island. And did we pick that? Yeah. Oh, there we go. And it's a large kitchen. So it's a 12 by 16 kitchen. It's an L shape. We want an island, of course. And then it gives us this idea here. Do you want low, medium, or high? So this gives you kind of the idea of what you're paying for. And you know what? Like, we just want this done once to as best as possible. We're going with high decorative upgrades, and we want to have the best construction possible for our new kitchen. You can select anything you want. And then, do we want additional features? Well, like, listen, I want everything. Like, give me all the pullouts, all the stuff. I want it all in my kitchen. Bam, there you go. Oh, hi, Emery, you're on the screen. And you can hit continue, and then you can go down to, oh, and it'll give you a price. So, did we pick our countertops? No, we didn't. We picked laminate. Oh, let's go to one that I would like, ultra compact. All right, and then we hit continue. So then it gives you this breakdown. Now, obviously, this is not perfect. This is just an idea for you to look at to get a basic understanding of what your kitchen is going to be priced at. Here we go. Sorry, I just I just deleted you. I'll bring it back in a minute. So this gives you the amount, and gives you your countertops, your demolition, your installation cost. At least so you can say, okay, this is my size kitchen. I want ultra compact surface. I want an L shape with an island. Like, am I paying for something like that? And this will give you an idea. This is all this is meant to be, is just, okay, like, I can expect to be paying around this amount or more for this type of kitchen. And then you can, go in and select the different variables that you want to select, and you can, change some things. So it gives you kind of a picture of, hey, this is what your kitchen, could look like. And I'm going to let you hover over to Zoom. Where does it do that? There we go. Oh, wow. There you go. So really cool. You can make an appointment, obviously, to speak to them, but it gets the ball rolling in your mind, at least, of what you could pay for. Instead of going in there and thinking, well, I want to pay $20,000 for a kitchen, but this is all the features that I want. Well, that's not really going to be possible. So you want to make sure that you have at least an idea of what you're going to be paying for your kitchen when you get to that stage. Now, again, it's not perfect, but it is a tool that you can use. So that's just on the Home Depot site, and you can grab that anytime you want. Here's some things to ask. So we're going to round this out now with just what are the things I need to ask when I'm designing this kitchen for myself. Function, does it work? In other words, this layout, all this stuff we've done, we got our vision board, we've got everything. This is like the final checklist. Does this kitchen work for the way that I want to use it? Is it mapped out in such a way that I'm pleased with? Do I have a space for everything? The mixer that just sits on the countertop for the last 20 years, does that have a place now, or is it still going to sit there and I have to just, lug it around everywhere, or what? Make sure that it works. It's called function. Is it accessible? Can I work it? It's not just that you have a layout that works, but does it work for you? Can you actually use the kitchen the way you want to use it? If you have high wall cabinets and you have no way of accessing them without getting on just your kitchen chair, maybe there's a better way to do that. And that now is the time to figure that out in your design phase. And of course, efficiency. Does it create more work or less work? Am I creating work in this kitchen by designing it this way? or making my life easier. And it makes your life easier because one, it works and you can work it. And so it becomes more efficient. So if you put all these things together, you'll end up with a kitchen that is much more functional and usable and ultimate for you, the homeowner, because it's personalized for you, for the way you use the space, with the design and the style and the things that you want to put into your kitchen with the appliances and the flooring and the lights and all those things that we looked at earlier, all the circles that fill the screen now all of a sudden become a lot clearer because you've been going through this process step by step by step. So now buying me shoes might actually be a bigger challenge than buying me a kitchen or designing me a kitchen because you've been through all of those steps, you've answered all those questions, and you're very confident in that. I hope you found value in that because I want to make sure that the design process is simplified so that anyone can do it.